What's up guys, Jake Hutton for Fitness Culture. Today's topic is gonna be all about shoulder mobility. So we're really gonna be going over how to improve your overhead position, but the stuff that we're gonna talk about really impacts a lot of your lifts, right? So the things that we're gonna do is gonna clean up your bench, make you a stronger bench presser, and it's gonna allow you to get overhead pain-free, and that's the biggest thing. So I get questions all the time. Jake, you bench over 500 pounds. How do you have such good overhead mobility? And how do you lift so much volume without your wrists hurting, your elbows hurting, but specifically your shoulders hurting, right? So today we're gonna show you the things that I do and the things that you can do that are gonna help your shoulder mobility and your overhead position. What are we doing all the time? Pressing a lot, right? A lot of the guys that follow us, they wanna get bigger upper bodies, so we're doing a lot of pressing, even like a lot of pulling, a lot of pull-ups, things like that, and they're not doing anything to work on the tissue around it. Brody here, we started him working out again. He's working out all the time. He's our marketing guy. What does he do after he comes and works out? He goes and sits at the desk, and then what happens? He just gets stuck in this position. He tears up all this muscle tissue, and he heals in this position. He spends a lot of time like this. And so if that happens with a lot of people, it's probably the worst thing you can possibly do, right? Sitting, we all know that sitting is probably one of the worst things you can do. And so we need to fix that bad posture to be able to press overhead pain-free, right? So the biggest thing here, and even Brody a little bit here, you're seeing a little bit of an anterior tilt in his shoulder right here, right? And that's because of those things, sitting all the time. His chest is probably a little bit tight, his lats are a little bit tight, and it's pulling everything down and forward, right? And the biggest way to fix this is, number one, you need to address the mobility in the area. And that's one thing that a lot of guys don't go over. These exercises that we're gonna show you today, it's gonna be so hard to do, and you're gonna get defeated when you try to do them if you don't have the mobility to get through the range of motion. What you really wanna do is try to squeeze your low trap down and back, and then externally rotate the shoulder a little bit. And that's obviously gonna be good posture right here, right? And then from there, when you press overhead, you can press pain-free. So the goal when you set up is always gonna be, I mean, even when you're just standing, is to turn those upper traps off. So when you stand, a lot of guys you'll see, they start getting these huge traps and they start getting into this position. Their traps are just always turned on, right? You want your traps to be relaxed when you're standing. If you look at someone from the side, and then from there, your upper back is erect, your shoulder blades are turned on a little bit, meaning your lower traps are turned on to give you that correct posture. And then when you press, you're gonna wanna externally rotate the shoulder just a little bit. And from there, so we always say, squeeze your shoulder blade down and back before you set up. And that's basically in any movement, squat, bench, anything. You're gonna squeeze your shoulder blade down and back. And then from there, you're in a good pressing position for anything you do. Another reason that's good, strengthening this lower trap muscle right here, is bringing that shoulder blade in is really how you're gonna stabilize your shoulder joint, especially in the bench press. You always see guys do this huge arch on the bench, right? Well, really what they're trying to do, most of them, is squeeze their shoulder blades down and back so much that is setting their shoulder in a really stable position. So if I'm here, just relaxed, my shoulder, it's gonna be all over the place. You see guys benched that aren't set up, and that's like that's a plateau buster, really. One of the reasons guys hit plateaus is because they don't set their shoulder blades down and back, and they're all over the place, right? So by setting your shoulder blades down and back, you're gonna be in the most stable position and the strongest position to press through too. So like I said, all these things that we're gonna talk about today, they're not only just gonna help you press overhead pain-free, but they're also gonna help you increase your bench, increase your dumbbell pressing power, everything, all right? First thing we need to address is your mobility. So the first thing we're gonna do is look at Brody. We're gonna test this a simple Y-raise mobility test, see where he's looking, but then we're gonna just show you guys some things you can do to help improve your mobility. The mobility test that we're gonna go over today is just a simple incline bench Y-raise. So it's gonna look like this. You're gonna set up the bench, sit with your knees down on the bench. From there, your arms are gonna hang out, thumbs are just gonna point away from your face, straight ahead. From there, what we're gonna do is squeeze those shoulder blades down and back into this position, flex your triceps, and then raise your hands as high as you can. All right, so ideally, your arms are gonna come up past their ears. Even Brody, though, would pass this test in my book. But a lot of people you'll see that have really a lot of shoulder pain and have a hard time pressing overhead. I mean, I tested a guy the other day that was stuck right here. Do this first, see where you're at. It's just kind of gonna be a measure of how good your shoulder mobility is right now. And you can kind of assess it from there, and then we'll move on to the mobility stuff. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go over a roller routine. First thing's gonna be your serratus. Start on the roller and just roll back and forth, basically through your rib cage right here. And you can also roll and raise your hand up while you're doing it. From there, you're gonna roll over and just hit your lat. all the way through. It's gonna be really uncomfortable, especially over your scapula into your armpit right here. If you're having a ton of pain, just work through it. The pain's gonna go away at some point. All right, so then from there, we're gonna work onto the tricep. So I usually just start with the arm out here and then grab my arm behind my head and roll all the way through it. And from there, I turn it over into my back just a little bit and just try to roll out my trap. And then from there, I come over to my chest and just finish off with my chest. So just start with my arm out, just like this. And then I'll transition my arm behind my body like this. All right, so the first mobility thing that I'm gonna show you is probably my favorite stretch of all time. You can relax in it, and it really just helps correct your posture, and it opens up your whole upper body. Start by just assessing kind of where your pain tolerance is. If you're really, really, really tight, then you're gonna wanna just sit back on the roller, with your head on the roller, your butt at the bottom of the roller, and just basically relax like this. If your forearms are easily touching the ground and you feel relaxed and you're not feeling any tension, then from there, you can grab some weight. Once you can do this with no pain, then we're gonna move on to the weight. So I just grabbed 45-pound plates. And then from there, you're basically gonna, I mean, for me, it's almost the same thing right now, so I'm not getting any stretch, but you're just gonna push out with the plates so that you're on your forearms. And then from there, you're gonna drive your elbows into your sides like this, all right? And that's really gonna open up your chest. All right, the next thing that I do is go into a band mobility routine. Grab a heavy band, and what I like to do is just wrap your hand around just like that, and that way you're not gripping it and you can totally relax. Start off by just hanging straight back, just letting that hang out, just relaxing. So then I'll step my foot forward, poke my head through the window, and now I'm feeling a great stretch. The next thing is gonna be to get your chest. And so externally rotate, point your thumb to the sky, step away, and stretch like that. And I usually work more external rotation while I'm stretching. Try to press into it and then come back down. Externally rotate. From there, we're just gonna work shoulder behind the back. Try to keep your core nice and tight. By doing this, it's gonna allow you to get better activation in these exercises that I'm about to show you. So now that we're done with the mobility, I'm gonna show you our 10 favorite exercises to work your external rotators and your low traps and upper back. You're not gonna be able to use a ton of weight on these, and so they're great to superset with your bench or any pressing movement that you're doing, dumbbell bench, anything, any overhead pressing that you're doing. If you don't have the mobility, this is where you need to start. We took just 2 small bands, the mini bands, and we looped them together. After you loop it on, you're gonna put it right around your palms like this, and then you're gonna set up into position. Let your head get down to the floor, press your thumb to the sky, get a nice Y position, and then from there, you squeeze your shoulder blades down and back, and then you're gonna alternate. You're gonna press out, and then go up to the sky, and spend 3 seconds getting as high as you can. We usually do about 3 sets of this, and then just 5 reps each arm. So really focus on a lot of tension at the top, really squeeze it up there for 3 seconds at least, and then come back down. All right guys, the next exercise we're gonna go over is just a trap 3 raise. On this one, you'll set up, back's nice and flat. You're gonna put your forehead on your arm. You wanna keep your forehead connected to your hand the entire time. Focus on this area right here. From there, you're gonna point your thumb straight out. You're gonna squeeze your shoulder blade down and back right here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then from there, you're gonna lock it to tricep and then raise it above head. Raise it up, squeeze for 3, 2, 1. Good, then come back down. If you try to go heavy on this one, it's gonna be really hard and you're not gonna be able to get it as high. You want full range of motion on these. None of this, you know? Like take your time and then squeeze it. Once it gets up there, you don't wanna swing it up at all. That's gonna defeat the whole purpose of this movement. The next exercise is gonna be an incline bench Y raise. So this is actually the same exercise that we use to test the overhead mobility. So you're gonna set up on a bench, legs on the bench just like this, head in a neutral position, let your shoulders out, then you're gonna squeeze your shoulder blades down and back, good, and then from there you're gonna raise overhead. Make sure you're using those lower traps to shrug everything down into position, head's neutral, arms are straight, and then really squeeze it at the top. But we usually do 3 to 4 sets of 6 to 10 reps, and then we change the time under tension at the top. So might be 3 seconds, might be a 6-second hold, just whatever we're doing for that week. Next exercise is just an external rotator, dumbbell external rotator off your knee. Sit down on the ground, try to slide your heel close to your butt. It really depends on your anatomy, but that's just gonna raise your knee up and get your elbow and your arm at the angle that we want it. So we want it up nice and high. and a nice 90-degree angle right here. And from there, you're gonna come all the way down. Try to face your knee just like Brody is here. So this is a great exercise for your external rotators. If you're having a hard time just getting into this position, if you lack mobility to get into this position, you can also do it basically on a bench. All right, the next one's gonna be a Cuban press. So on the Cuban press, you wanna set up so that your hands are wide enough that you're about 90 degrees when you row up. Your elbows at 90 degrees right here. So you're gonna start, squeeze your shoulder blades down and back. You're gonna row it up, keeping that bar right, nice and tight to your body. Get it up as high as you can. From there, like you could go a little bit wider with your hands here even. And then from there, we're gonna row it up, keeping your elbows nice and high, press to the sky. And then I usually like to add a little shrug at the top as well. Let's get a little extra work in there. Then come back down. You're gonna control it down with your elbows nice and high, and then back down. So the biggest mistake we're gonna see on this one is people going too heavy, and when they rotate, their elbows are just dropping and they're pressing it out, right? So make sure that elbow is stuck right here and it's just rotating in the same spot. All right, this next movement's gonna be the band pull apart. So you've probably done this one before. What you're gonna do is set up, grab a band, a light band, lock out your triceps. You're gonna be right about shoulder width. You wanna maintain tension the entire time on the band, so we're not coming back in, losing tension. We're gonna maintain tension the entire time. You're gonna shrug your shoulders away from your ears, and now you're gonna pull the band apart across your chest, squeeze, and then come back in. Keep tension, shrug down, good. So the next one's gonna be an incline bench. We just call this W to Y press, and you'll see why in a second. So you're gonna set this one up on a little bit less of an incline here. You'll initiate the movement the same way. You're gonna make sure you squeeze your shoulder blades down and back. From there, you're gonna roll your elbows up, straight up. You're gonna come into a nice W, rotate. You're gonna press out to a Y, extend all the way, and you're gonna come back down, elbows down, and then control back down, and then back all the way out. The next move we're gonna show you is gonna be the YTW on a TRX. You can also use rings. The biggest thing on this one is make sure that you're not standing too far under the bar, or it's gonna get really, really heavy. So start off standing almost straight up, see how it feels, and then if you can keep perfect form, then you can work your way down on this one. So you're gonna start with the Y. So we wanna focus on keeping our arms completely straight, flex the tricep, and from there you're gonna squeeze your shoulder blades down and back, and then come into a nice Y position. Y up, good. Control it on the way down. And then from there we're gonna go into a T. Good, out into a T, good. And then from there, we're gonna go into a W. Squeeze it back into a W, good. So since 1 rep is really like 3 reps, we usually cut these off at a set of 5 on the YTWs. All right guys, the next movement's gonna be a single arm cable Y raise. So you really wanna focus on your body positioning on this one. It's not about going heavy, it's about doing it right. So the biggest thing here, you're gonna split your stance, the arm opposite, basically that forward foot. And then from there, what you're gonna focus on, keeping your chest up, but at the same time, you're gonna squeeze your rib cage down to your belly button. From there, so that's gonna set your core in place. From there, you're gonna squeeze that back glute. Squeeze it, good. Nice and tight, everything's tight here, so you're not gonna compensate with your low back. And then from there, everything's tight. You're gonna squeeze your shoulder blade down and back, and then raise it overhead, elbow straight. Raise it up, core tight, glute squeezed, and then come back down, good. Perfect movement on this one. It's not fast, so this one we usually just do about 6 reps on each arm. All right guys, you've probably done this one before. The next one's gonna be a face pull. I usually do this a little bit different than most people. I like to flip my hands to grab like this on the rope or the straps. So basically your palms are facing each other like this. From there, what that's gonna allow you to do is keep your elbows a little bit higher, and on the way back, you're gonna externally rotate and finish with your hands right here. So you're getting the pulling and the external rotation all the way through. So you'll start right here, squeeze your shoulder blades down and back, pull, squeeze at the back, really focus, try to get your hands past your ears. The last exercise on our list is one that you probably see everyone doing in any gym around the world, but it does work great, so we're through it on the list. It's gonna be just a standing cable external rotator. So on this one, you're gonna set up with your palm at your stomach, grip that handle. From there, get your shoulder in a nice position, try to pin that elbow next to your side, and then you're just gonna rotate out to the side. We never really go that heavy. We only do higher reps on this one. Sets of 20, stuff like that. So that wraps it up with our favorite exercises. I hope that all that information that we gave you today is helpful, and you can start using it maybe with your clients or with yourself in your own training. So we're gonna post a link in the description on how we would pair the mobility and all of these exercises within an actual day of exercise. So if you wanna check that out, click the link and download it. Appreciate you guys watching, and stay tuned for next time.